Right, let's talk about the impact then that kind of game has on sort of the City's chances this year, because I was getting a bit ahead of myself maybe in January and saying, they're still in 3 competitions. I think they can,
January last week, mate, we were like, City.
Well, I was kind of giving myself a little bit more credit than that. I was kind of saying like they're still up for the treble. This is their year, and all of a sudden, a week later, the picture looks substantially different.
Commentator's curse.
Yeah, well, I think it doesn't help when your commentator just disappears for a quick holiday and then comes back at half time and then drifts off again. But I mean, now they just have the WSL in terms of their sort of silverware hopes, and they're playing Arsenal in the penultimate WSL game of the season. I mean, you, Rach, I think are of the impression that perhaps it would have been better to wait how the Cup's played out before agreeing to a 3-year deal for Taylor. I'm taking the opposite view, but I'll let you set out your case first.
Well, no, like you never know when the best time is. I just think it's really interesting when stuff like this happens, where, I mean, Arsenal don't even get through to the Champions League, can't even get out of the qualifiers, and they're signing Jonas Eidevall on for like another long time. They're out of the FA Cup. So it's just an interesting one where clubs are like, right, let's nail them down. This is great. We're doing great. We're in for the treble. And then like literally in the same week, you get knocked out of both cups, which is not ideal. So it's just a bit awkward, I imagine, in that, that little boardroom where they make that decision where they're like, what the fuck? Someone said something about the treble. And we'll get in trouble, because we get in trouble if you don't talk about Man City enough. And then if you do talk about Man City and then this happens, everyone's like, it's your fault because you overhyped them. So you can't really win in these situations. But I just think it's unusual timing to have 2 cups in the same week for a team that's on for potentially a treble, to just fumble both in the same week right after a contract signing. It's just awkward timing. Do you know what I mean?
I think I agree. The FA Cup quarter-final, I think, should have been a bit more of a surety. The Conti Cup semi-final, obviously meeting Chelsea in the Conti Cup semi-final, I completely understand that, that could have gone either way. And I don't think that was a kind of, Man City could have... They could have, and they
were the better team.
100%. But at the same time, when you face Chelsea at the semi-final, it is a bit more of a 50-50. Yeah, it would be absolutely lovely to make the final, but you could understand if they didn't. You wouldn't be sitting there and thinking, okay, well, Gareth Taylor's an absolute shit show. Let's get rid of him because they've not made the Conti Cup final. Is what I'm trying to say. But
fine.
I absolutely love the fact that Gareth Taylor and Man City have put pen to paper for the 3 years, because I think it's so rare to have that in the WSL, where you have that surety, you have that kind of stability, you have that continuity. And I think when you look at the development of Man City, past 2 seasons, they've kind of been in a situation where they've got those really bad results at the start of the season, been trying to claw their way back. But this year, I think we've seen a different side to them. They've got players that are consistently performing well. There's a few kind of players that are stepping up and stepping into the game, like Kiara Keating. And I think, the WSL is still an absolutely massive one. And if anything, if you want to be getting some kind of silverware and you're not in the Champions League, obviously, because you didn't qualify, the WSL is the absolute one you want. And I think this weekend, when you kind of look at the fixtures and how they set up, so Man City have Brighton on Sunday, another away game, which is going to be a bit challenging. And then Chelsea face Arsenal on Friday. This could be the weekend, if everything goes to plan for Arsenal, that they take the top spot. So I think, all of a sudden, being out of the 2 cups, but the next week you're at the top of the WSL, potentially 3 points clear of Chelsea. It could, again, be a completely different picture. So
I think it'd be so frustrating for them if they don't win something. I think that's what the frustration is, because I felt like this was their year to pick up silverware again, that they'd finally cracked it, they'd gotten some stability, they'd only brought in the one player. Granted, she's been injured now, but like they'd really found the consistent form that we've gotten used to. They were being a difficult team to beat. They were able to grind out results, and you kind of thought, right, they're still in these 3 cups, as these 3 chances to win silverware. It just felt like their year. So I think it's just the frustration that they've almost kind of nailed it, and then suddenly these 2 things are gone, and it just puts more pressure on the league. But you're right, there's still all to play for in the league. Anything can happen, Chloe. It's a big weekend.
Who would you rather see pick up the WSL title? Would you rather see a completely different person like Man City, who've not won it in quite a long period of time, and it just be a bit of a breath of fresh air? Or would you rather see Chelsea walk away with the WSL title because it's Emma Hayes' last year and you really think she wants to be ended on a high?
Are you setting me up to get hatred from fans?
Yeah, all day. Listeners, send in your thoughts.
I'd like someone new.
Okay, bold.
I love Emma Hayes. you know, but I'd like someone new. Or, you know, the other option, having a different team win everything. Different team win the FA Cup, different team win the Conti Cup, different team win the league. That'd be quite nice as well.
I love that at the start of the season. Right, okay, we're going to do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Arsenal, you've drawn the Conti Cup. Okay, Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea, you've drawn the league.
Oh,
Christ, right.
I can just imagine Arsenal being like, the Conti Cup is really important, shut up.
I've got to back you on that. I think any kind of, you know, listener comments, I know that's quite a controversial thing to say, but I would 100% back you on that. I think it would be really lovely to see someone else pick up the WSL title and like taking it down to the last day and it, you know, being someone different, whether that's Man City, whether that's Arsenal.
But also that's fine for us to think that. It's not like anti-Chelsea. We love Chelsea. We love all of them. Like, it's not an anti kind of team.
It's pro-competition, okay? It's pro-competition.